All right, so look, man, this right here. All right, so look, this title got me all over the place, man. It say "Mom on Angel Dust." Those are baby in a dumpster, and then the baby dad gets revenge. I'm not sure how this is about to happen or what's about to take place, but we about to hop straight into it, man. Make sure you sub to the channel. Make sure you like this video. Oh, and if you would like to see the video bigger and me smaller over off in the corner, let me know down in the comments, and I start doing the videos like this with me smaller and the video bigger. But let's get into it.
Kion Jones was born in March of 2021. His mother, LaDonya Patrice Boggs, was 38 years old. His father, Carl Jones, was 43. At the time of our story, Kion was a petite 2-month-old. Sadly, not much is known about this little boy, including what his true birth date is. What we do know is that he was born to a woman who should have rethought being a mother. Kion looked peaceful when asleep. A fringe of
How you know this baby 2 months if you don't even know when his birthday is? All right, that's not even important. Let's get back. Let's get back
dark
to it.
hair surrounding his face that resembled his father's. His hands were tucked into white mittens to keep him from scratching his skin. At 2 months, he likely would have started to see in color. First being able to see the difference between green and red. He would have been able to see his mother's face and follow her with his eyes. He would kick and he would wriggle. He would gurgle and make sounds. He probably recognizes the voices of his siblings who were around during his mother's pregnancy. He would have been able to clasp tight onto a finger or an object, and he would have struggled to let go.
LaDonya lived in an apartment at 1511 Benning Road. It was in the Aziz Bates Court apartment complex in the northeastern section of Washington, D.C. She lived with 2 of her adult children and 5 younger children, ages 14, 9, 5, 1, and of course, 2-month-old Kion. Before Kion was born, LaDonya had a long struggle with drug abuse. In May of 2008, she was charged with misdemeanor possession of a controlled substance. She completed a drug treatment program but was caught with drugs again a year later. She pled to a lesser charge and was given a suspended sentence. As part of the plea, she agreed to attend a drug treatment program and show up for regular drug tests. By September of 2009, she had violated her probation and had to serve 60 days in jail. She was also given additional probation for this. 6 years later, and
You got all those kids, man. I know it's only 60 days, but that's a long time to be away from your kids, man. I don't know why you would have a baby with a snap anyway.
September of 2015, LaDonya was arrested on a misdemeanor charge of destruction of property. As part of her guilty plea, she agreed to be placed in a residential drug treatment program and partake in additional screenings. She struggled to stay clean during her probation and often missed her mandated drug tests. In May of 2017, she had to serve 45 days in jail for failure to comply with her plea deal. By April of 2018, she was on a GPS monitor and was required to participate in an intensive drug program. Later the same year, she had some small success with a new case manager. In February of 2019, the case manager reported that LaDonya was doing well in her regular home visits.
A little over 2 years later, Kion was born. He stayed at the hospital for a few weeks after his birth. LaDonya brought him home to the Benning Road apartment in April of 2021. Kion's father, Carl, had been living at the apartment, but LaDonya asked him to move out sometime in mid-April. On May 2nd, Carl and LaDonya had a heated argument via text. She told him she wished she hadn't had his baby. She claimed that Carl didn't care about Kion. She said that she would make Carl's life a living hell and threatened to turn Kion over to CPS. For context, Carl already had 3 children in the child welfare system. LaDonya alleged that the mother of those children placed them there, and she threatened to do the same thing.
Carl's a piece of shit. So I was talking stuff on her saying, why would you have a baby with a snap, with a jug, and why would she have a baby with you? Boy, he got 3 kids in child custody, man, CPS. Well, come on, man. You let your 3 kids go into child protective services? Like, come on, bruh. Get your babies.
Told LaDonya that she was angry right now and asked her to be patient with him. 2 days later, on May 4th, LaDonya called Carl and told him to come get Kion and take all of his things. However, Carl didn't visit the Benning Road apartment that day, nor did he pick up the baby.
Here's one thing you need to do before buying anything online. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this first.
On May 5th, LaDanya called Carl and told him CPS took Kion into their custody. She used the term CPS, but the official name of the agency is the DC Child and Family Services Agency, or CFSA, which is what we're going to be referring to them as for the remainder of this episode. She told Carl the baby was going to be gone for a long time. He asked where Kion was. She hung up on him. That evening, LaDanya met Carl at a hotel. Again, she told him CPS took the baby. What LaDanya didn't take a moment to consider was that Carl already had a CFSA caseworker for his other children. He called that caseworker, and that caseworker told him that he did not have Kion. LaDanya kept insisting that CPS had taken the baby. She named Wanda Davis as the person who came to take him. This added another level of confusion because Carl was related to a Wanda Davis who lived in Las Vegas. Since the local CFSA had no record of the infant, Carl called the National Center for Children and Families on May 6th. They too didn't have Kion, and told Carl that no agency had taken their son. Next, Carl called the local CFSA and reported Kion missing. He also told them LaDanya was using angel dust, a drug that can cause hallucinations, difficulty thinking clearly, and bizarre behavior. Many of the parents that we cover on this channel have a history of substance use issues, but when angel dust comes into play, it is absolutely terrifying. If you need an example, look no further than our Siobhan Thomas episode. After Siobhan decapitated her son Zari while she was high on drugs, she proceeded to, since we can't say the word on YouTube, self-check out by a knife repeatedly. Due to Carl's report, police were sent to the Benning Road apartment for a welfare check. LaDanya advised the officers that there was no baby living there. She also told them that no small children lived there, which was not true. Even worse, the police took her at her word and they left without even entering the apartment.
What?
The next day on May 7th, a CFSA social worker went to LaDanya's apartment. She told the social worker that a CPS lady had taken the baby because of an anonymous call alleging drug use and neglect, and claimed that she had been sober for a year. The social worker interviewed the other children living in the apartment who said their mother told them that a CPS lady took their brother. The children said the last time that they had seen Kion awake was on Tuesday, May 4th, 3 days earlier. CFSA again verified that they didn't have Kion in their custody, which led to the social worker calling the...
Hold on, so she told the police one thing, say there's not no small children living there, and she got small children still living there. They didn't even come in and check. If you get a missing baby report, you should sweep the house. So she told them whatever the hell that she wanted to tell them, and then tell the lady from CPS something completely different. Now CPS is probably about to finally call the cops. They ain't seen the brother, they ain't seen the baby in 3 days. Come on, man. If the cops would have did their job off the rip, none of this wouldn't. I mean, I don't know if the baby was already still dead or what, but you could have found him.
Police to report Kion missing.
When the police arrived, LaDanya said the CPS lady who took Kion drove a blue Toyota. She didn't have a badge. She took the baby, the car seat, all of the formula, and all of the baby's clothes. First, LaDanya said the removal happened at 11 p.m. She also said it happened when all her other children were outside playing. When she realized that didn't make sense, she changed her story to say he was taken during the day.
She told the police that the CPS lady was Wanda Davis, the same name she had given to Carl the day before. First, she said that Kion was removed because of an anonymous call, but then said Carl told Wanda to take the baby. The police contacted Miss Davis, who, if you recall, was a relative of Carl's living in Las Vegas. She did not have Kion, obviously. LaDanya changed her story multiple times over the course of the next few hours and continued to change her story over the next few days. She told the police she didn't have a phone number for Carl, but then gave him his number. She said that she hadn't talked to Carl in a month, which...
Oh yeah, that's how you know she a tweaker. She just in there just doing anything with the cops, bro. You tell them you don't got your baby dad's phone number, and then still turn around and give it to him. He said, Angel does, Holmes. Hey, yo.
Wasn't true. She said she hadn't had any angel dust at all, and then said she had some 4 months earlier.
LaDanya told police she couldn't deal with it.
They had some 4 months earlier, but meanwhile, you just told the first cops that they took the baby, and you've been clean for a whole year.
Him, referring to Kion, so she gave the little boy to her godmother. When they asked for contact information, LaDanya said she deleted it all from her phone. Police tracked down the woman who was the grandmother of one of LaDanya's other children. She didn't have Kion. Eventually, LaDanya admitted she hadn't given the baby to her. When detectives asked LaDanya why she had lied, she said, "I didn't want my baby because me and his father were going through whatever we were going through." Then, LaDanya said she gave the baby to someone else, this time a friend who lived on Good Hope Road. She didn't have the friend's phone number, and police couldn't find anyone with that name living on that road. Police conducted a search of the apartment and surrounding areas looking for signs of Kion.
Why is he already in
jail?
jail?
There was no sign of him in the apartment. No crib, no toys, no infant food, no baby items, no clothes, no car seat. On May 7th, Washington, D.C. police listed Kion as a missing child on their Facebook page. The media was alerted, and the community was encouraged to report any information that they had.
Tonight, baby Kion Jones is listed as critically missing. D.C. police say he was last seen in a home here off Benning Road on Wednesday. He wasn't reported missing to police until Friday. And tonight, people in this apartment complex tell me they hope he makes it home safely.
It looked like a crime scene. That's what it looked like because I seen so many police officers. So I just walked away from it, but because I already knew what they were looking for. Because I know the I know the mother of the child.
You probably selling her the shit. No.
Made it a little worse.
24 hours later, the same parking lot is quiet, but the search is still on for missing Kion Jones, who police have released very little information on. Only that he was last seen Wednesday and not reported missing until 2 days later.
On May 8th, LaDanya called the police and said that she had more to say. Detectives came out to the Benning Road apartment to conduct yet another interview. Now, during this interview, LaDanya told them Kion was sleeping.
I'm seriously not even understanding how she ain't already been in jail. How many times she changed her story and saying she gave him to this person and that person and this person and that person. Where's your baby at?
In bed with her. She was lying on her right side and the baby was lying on his stomach. He was between her and the wall. When she woke up later, she found him beneath her stomach and he wasn't breathing. She also told detectives that she had been under the influence of angel dust when the incident happened. She told one detective that she had been hallucinating the day Kion died, but told another detective she couldn't remember what she was hallucinating. She would proceed to change this story several more times.
On May 9th, missing persons activist Henderson Long went to the Aziz Bates court complex to pass out flyers for Kion. The police were still investigating what LaDanya had shared with them, but as far as the public knew, including Henderson, Kion was still a missing child. Henderson was moved by Kion's story, and because of his young age, he felt like he should help.
If you hear anything, just give MPD a call, all right?
Okay.
Number down at the bottom.
All right, bet. I got you, bro.
Here you go, man. It's not like me and you. Like, we can take care of ourselves. We can, we can ask for help. A 2-month-old is totally dependent on their surroundings.
While at the complex, Henderson asked LaDanya to do a Facebook Live interview. She agreed, and he and a reporter from WUSA TV conducted this interview. Carl was there too, but he didn't appear on camera. Henderson expected LaDanya to ask the community for help and information that would lead to the return of her missing baby. Instead, in a quiet and flat voice, she told the reporter she woke to find Kion not breathing.
Will you say and spell out your name for me?
LaDanya, LaDonia, last name Boggs.
Tell us about your son.
Kion Jones.
And how old is he?
2 months old.
What happened this week?
He was in the house. And the last time that I had him was he was in the bed with me. And he was sleeping on the bed with me. And I had rolled over and noticed that he was on the bed with me on my chest. And the last thing that I remember was that I had rolled over and he was on my chest. After that, when I was asleep, rolled over, noticed that he was unresponsive, breathing. and I panicked. And after that, a lady called my phone and questioned me about the whereabouts about him. And I got frustrated about the situation, about him in the household. And she just was like, can she come and take a look at him? And after that, she came.
You conducting an interview and she clearly high right now. Then after that, how many times did she say the baby was laying on her chest? And look at her forehead. She got too much dumb to be this dumb.
To the house. And I panicked. And after that, I went outside and talked to the lady out front on the porch. And we was just having a mutual conversation about him. And after that, she just was like, she just was gonna call me back. And she just left. So after that, I came back in the house with Kayan. He was still in here. And
I thought he was not responsible.
after that, he was still in the bed. So, after I noticed that he was unresponsive, wasn't breathing no more,
After that,
I had took him outside to see if he wasn't breathing no more, and I noticed that he wasn't breathing no more. So I panicked, and then I went outside, came back in the house, walked around the block 4 couple of times to get a breath of mine. And when I came back in the house, I still noticed that he wasn't breathing anymore.
so you see your son ain't breathing, and you say you went outside, went back inside, then went back outside to take a breath, walked a lap around the crib, or around wherever you was at, chilled because you was trying to get, like, figure stuff out, get your mind right. Oh, why your son is not breathing?
So I went outside. I came back in the house and got a blanket and his car seat and wrapped up and took it outside and disposed it in the trash.
When you called authorities, what did they say?
I didn't call anybody.
That's why she was sitting there stuttering and trying to build up the outside, then inside, then outside. You threw the baby in the garbage and you still conducting the interview? What garbage? Grab her by her, you know what I'm saying, and take her, what garbage?
You scared?
Yes.
Are police are still
They're
searching?
still searching. And
They
looking
still
for my
searching
child.
and looking for him. Now.
I'm just getting this information that y'all just got just now. I mean, I just got it about 30 minutes ago.
What happens next for your family? What's the next?
All I need to do is locate the body right when I mean, she's saying that he wasn't breathing, that she threw him in the trash, so
Do you
I need
know-
to find out where he's at.
Do you know the area where people could find him? Did doctors give you any warnings or anything, you know, if he was premature?
He was already premature
They said
at
he
the
was fine
hospital.
when they left the hospital
How long had he been home for?
for 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Well, 5.5.
5.5
He almost
weeks.
he'll be 8 weeks. He would have been 8 weeks this week.
Okay.
So he's wherever he's at, or if he's good or not, he's only 7 weeks old.
He's not good.
And
He's
they-
been missing for.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us.
Yes, ma'am.
Yo,
How you give them that information before you give it to the police? And how dude in the back talking about he knew this for 30 minutes.
Carl said he was still looking for his missing son. He was not satisfied, and he would not be until he found Kion's body. Carl also noted that the dumpster behind the building had already been emptied and the contents were taken away before police could check for them. LaDanya said she had no idea where Kion's body could be.
On May 11th, police questioned Carl. He thought LaDanya's drug abuse was getting worse, but swore he never saw her harm her children. He said she always had food in the house. He thought that LaDanya loved Kion. He also admitted to using angel dust with her recently. Police began the search for Kion's remains, looking in dumpsters and garbage trucks servicing the DC area. On May 10th, cadaver dogs were brought in to search a large landfill in Charles City County, Virginia. Landfill was over 120 miles south of the apartment where little Kion was last seen. A long way for someone so tiny and fragile. Police finished their search on May 13th and they were unable to locate him.
On May 14th, LaDanya was arrested for homicide and evidence tampering. Without Kion's body and the evidence it contained, prosecutors decided to drop the homicide charge. If more evidence was found, they could choose to reinstate it. The maximum sentence for evidence tampering was 3 years in prison. LaDanya was released the next day without bond. As a condition of her release, she was not
got a
allowed to have
OR?
any unsupervised contact with children, including her own children and grandchild. She was scheduled to return to court on November 19th, 2022.
While in custody on May 14th, LaDanya gave yet another version of her story. She told the investigators Kion had been having stomach issues, but he hadn't been taking any medicine for it. She had talked to the doctor about possibly changing his formula because he had been constipated. She was supposed to take him for a medical checkup, but his health insurance had not yet started. She admitted she made up the story about CPS because she was upset with Carl. She claimed Kion was sleeping on her chest the night he died. She rolled over on him while sleeping. She woke up on top of Kion and he wasn't breathing. She panicked and didn't know what to do, so she wrapped Kion in a blue baby blanket. In this version of the story, she placed him in his car seat and threw the car seat into the dumpster. She said she put his clothes in a box and threw that in the trash too. She said she had smoked angel dust a day or two before his death. In this version of her story, she was not hallucinating and had not taken the drug on the day he died. The police consulted a pediatrician from Children's National Medical Center. The doctor said co-sleeping with an infant can cause death. The risk of death is even higher if the parent is under the influence of drugs. The police also obtained surveillance footage from the apartment complex. In footage recorded on May 5th, LaDanya wore a red shirt and blue pants. She carried a car seat out the complex door, and she made another trip. This time she carried a full plastic bag in one hand and pulled a cardboard box with the other. A cloth or blanket was visible in this box. Police said it appeared large enough to contain a 2-month-old. Footage from outside showed LaDanya at the trash dumpster. Footage at the door showed her coming back inside. Her hands were empty. This footage supported the most disturbing part of this story. LaDanya threw little Kion away in the dumpster, along with all the evidence of his very short life.
Wow.
While awaiting trial, LaDanya was still living at the apartment on Benning Road. On April 27, 2022, police were called to her apartment at 3 a.m. They found her unresponsive in the bedroom. She had been stabbed in her stomach and her right calf. When EMS responded, they found no signs of life. They pronounced LaDanya dead at the scene and transported her body to the medical examiner.
Inside the apartment, police found a trail of blood in the bedroom and living room. They also found blood on the couch. The same surveillance cameras that once recorded LaDanya throwing her son in the garbage now showed Carl holding a knife and throwing a bloody carpet into the dumpster. Carl was arrested later that day. He was charged with second-degree homicide while armed. The judge asked if he killed her. He said, "If I did, would I be wrong for doing that?" He later admitted he argued with LaDanya about Kion's death, and he ultimately stabbed her. He also admitted he still occasionally smoked angel dust with her. In December of 2022, he pled guilty to voluntary manslaughter. He was sentenced to 9 years in prison. The judge believed that Kion's death was the root cause of Carl's crime and ordered him to get counseling while he was behind bars.
So he murked the shorty and only got 9 though. Hey, real rap though. Think it was no, that's I'm about to say what is it called? Crime of passion or something? Yeah, whenever you basically black out. They was on angel dust, so I don't know how. And you still smoking angel dust with her after she killed your son, and you know that, and you getting all those stories from her. How mad at her could you have been?
LaDanya was a troubled woman who had many issues, and those issues led to the death of her son. We will never know if Kion's death was an accident or not, but if it was truly the result of co-sleeping, then it bears mentioning that co-sleeping takes the lives of hundreds of children every year. Now, according to the National Institute of Child Health and Human Development, at least 905 babies died from accidental suffocation while sleeping in 2020. Most of these deaths were caused by co-sleeping. In 2023, some areas are seeing a rise in these preventable deaths. Doctors say parents should never keep an infant in bed with them and should never place an infant on their chest while taking a nap. They recommend the ABCs of safe sleep. A is for alone, B is for on their back, and C is for in a crib. Kion's body has still not been found. He never had an obituary, funeral, or public memorial. He doesn't even have a headstone. His grave is, unfortunately, a landfill. Even if LaDanya's version of events wasn't exactly truthful, it is important to remember these safe sleeping guidelines. For many new parents, the ABCs of safe sleep could save a baby's life.
You're gonna have to save a couple babies' life fucking around with her, because she killed one, got all these other babies, grandbabies, all type of shit. Like, what type of mother? What? And who smokes angel dust? Maybe it's just from the area I'm at. I ain't never even heard a motherfucker say angel dust until until Smokey smoked it on Friday. I don't know nothing about no angel dust. Like, who smokes angel dust? And the fact that he's sitting there smoking with her after she done gave you the story, you can't find your son, you still getting high with her. How much did you really love the young boy? If you ask me, both of them was the two biggest pieces of shit that you could ever have together to make a baby. Y'all so down bad and toxic together, y'all shouldn't even have been friends. Let alone fucking. Y'all bringing in, woo. I don't know, man. That right there kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I be wanting to pause it a lot more. Let me know if I'm pausing it enough, not enough, or just too much. Anyway, we're about to get up out of here. Also, let me know if you want to see the video bigger and me smaller as well. So make sure you tell me that in the comments as well. Subscribe to the channel. Like this video. GoHammTV.